All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going skin deep. We're talking about our body's largest, most visible, and let's be honest, sometimes its most mysterious organ. I mean, from a sudden rash to a pimple that just won't quit, our skin is constantly talking to us. So that's really the big question, isn't it? What is your skin trying to tell you? In this explainer, we're going to decode some of those signals from the really common stuff to the more critical things, so you can get a better handle on the story your skin is writing every single day. Okay, so first things first. Before we can get into what goes wrong, we really need a basic blueprint of how our skin works in the first place. You can think of this next part as the user's guide you never knew you needed. So our skin, it's our body's frontline defender. It's the wall that stands between us and, well, everything. Heat, cold, germs, you name it. And to do that, it's built with these three main layers. You've got the epidermis on the outside, then the dermis in the middle, which is packed with all the important hardware, like nerves and glands, and then the deeper subcutaneous layer. It's this incredibly complex and, frankly, brilliant system. Now, let's talk about one of the key players in this system, sebum. It's this oily, waxy stuff made by tiny glands in your skin, and its whole job is to keep your skin lubricated and stop it from drying out. So, sebum is a good thing. It's absolutely essential. But, and this is a big but, it's all about balance. The moment you have too much or too little, that's when you start running into some very common problems. So, what happens when that balance gets thrown way off? Well, that brings us right here to what happens when our glands go rogue. We're going to look at two of the most common conditions out there, acne and eczema, which are basically just our skin's own systems either malfunctioning or, totally overreacting. It's actually pretty fascinating how two super common skin issues can be so different at their core. So on one side, you've got acne. That's all about those oil glands, the sebaceous glands, getting clogged up with too much oil and bacteria and then getting inflamed. But then you've got eczema, which is a totally different beast. It's also an inflammatory issue, sure, but it's often tied to your genes and results in that classic dry, rough, super inflamed skin. So see, both are about inflammation, but they have completely different triggers. Okay, so how do you tackle something like acne? Well, dermatologists often think about it like a ladder. You start on the bottom rung with over-the-counter stuff like benzoyl peroxide or salicylic acid that helps dry out oil and unclog pores. If that doesn't cut it, you climb up to the next rung. Prescription creams like retinoids, and then for the most stubborn, severe cases, you go to the top rung. Systemic medications, which are pills that you take orally so they work throughout your entire body. And this brings us to a really, really crucial point. That top rung of the treatment ladder, especially with powerful drugs like isotretinoin, it comes with some serious risks. And you can see from this quote here, we're talking about significant potential side effects, including severe mood changes and, critically, severe birth defects. These drugs are known teratogens, which is a scientific term for something that can harm a developing fetus. That is exactly why their use is so tightly controlled, and my patients have to enroll in these special safety programs to get them. It's serious stuff. Now, while some skin problems come from our own body systems going a little haywire, not everything starts from the inside. Sometimes our skin has to play host to, well, some unwanted guests. So in this next section, we're going to look at what happens when our skin is invaded by things like fungi, parasites, and viruses. I love this slide. It's like a little most wanted rap sheet for two super common invaders. On one side, you have athlete's foot, which is a fungus that just loves damp places like locker room floors. On the other side, you've got head lice, a tiny parasite that spreads through close contact, like sharing hats or brushes. What this really shows is how different these invaders are and why you need totally different game plans to prevent them. And of course, we can't forget about viruses. Warts are a perfect example. They aren't just random bumps. They're actually little skin growths caused by different strains of the human papillomavirus, or HPV. And depending on the strain, you could get a common wart on your finger, a plantar wart on the bottom of your foot, or even genital warts. Now, while we have plenty of ways to treat them, from over-the-counter acids to freezing them off, prevention is also a huge deal here. The HPV vaccine, for instance, is an incredibly powerful tool for preventing the strains that cause genital warts. Okay, we need to shift gears now to a more serious topic: skin cancer. Our source materials all really hammer this point home. While protecting yourself from the sun is obviously the best form of prevention, early detection is, without a doubt, our most powerful weapon in fighting and treating it successfully. So what does early detection actually mean? It means knowing what to look for. And this right here is an absolutely essential tool, the ABCDs of checking your moles. Let's walk through it. A is for asymmetry. Does one half of the mole look like a weird mirror image of the other? B is for border. Are the edges all ragged and fuzzy, or are they smooth? C is for color. Is the color uneven with lots of different shades of brown or black? D is for diameter. Is it bigger than a pencil eraser? And E, maybe the most important one, is for evolving. Has the mole changed recently? Has it grown, changed shape, changed color? Seriously, remembering this simple little guide could literally be life-saving.
Wow, we have covered a lot of ground, right? From our own bodies going haywire to tiny invaders from the outside world. So for this last part, let's just zoom out and take a look at the main categories of tools that we have in our dermatological toolbox.
What this really shows us is that there's no single magic bullet for skin problems. It's all about targeted treatments. You've got your antibacterials to fight bacteria and your antifungals to fight fungus. You've got powerful corticosteroids to calm down out-of-control inflammation. Then you have things like keratolytics, which help shed excess skin, and retinoids, which speed up how fast your skin cells turn over. And, of course, antihistamines for allergic reactions. It's all about using the right tool for the right job. And that really brings us to the end of our explainer. We've seen that our skin is this incredibly dynamic organ. It protects us, it reacts to the world, and it's constantly sending us signals about our health. So I'll just leave you with this one last thought. Your skin is your lifelong companion. Are you listening to what it has to say? Thanks so much for joining me.